One, two, one, two, three.
So some horrible, sad news in the skateboarding world. Legendary pro skateboarder James Hardy sadly ended up passing away. Rest in peace, James Hardy. My condolences go out to his friends and family and everybody that's being impacted by this terrible loss. But the question is, what happened to James Hardy? That's right, what happened to James Hardy? And there's tributes that are pouring in for the pro skateboarder who was only 35 years old. That's truly sad that he passed away at the age of 35. So what happened to him? It states according to this article that James Hardy, a well-known skateboarder, passed away in Alabama on Sunday as per media reports. Several people took to social media sites to mourn the death of the skateboarding athlete at a very young age. James never shied away from expressing his worrying health conditions publicly. He was suffering from seizures and head trauma after his pro skateboarding career. A report suggests that at the time of his death, James had a seizure that ultimately took his life. That is truly sad and heartbreaking, and that just really sucks. So due to him hitting his head because of his pro skateboarding career, he ended up suffering from seizures, and the seizure ended up ultimately taking his life. I know it's like uncool and it's like totally core and hardcore to not wear a helmet when skateboarding and doing like these insane stunts. And a lot of guys get very lucky and never hit their heads. Some end up hitting their heads and they're okay. But in James Hardy's case, sadly, from hitting his head multiple times, I guess he started to suffer from like a dramatic brain injury, started to have seizures, and ultimately took his life. And that's truly sad because there's a possibility if he wore a helmet then he wouldn't, even if he hit his head, he probably would have never possibly had seizures, but that's the risk us skateboarders take when skating. Especially if you're skating without a helmet. And some guys, when they hit their head without a helmet, sometimes it's very devastating. They could pass away from not wearing a helmet, or they could also end up becoming like a vegetable, not being able to walk or talk again. I know like the core skateboarding industry states that if you wear a helmet, it's uncool. You won't be in like videos, you won't be in magazines, you're not gonna get sponsored or be pushed, especially with street skating. But I would rather wear a helmet and not actually be part of the core industry and to take instead of like not wearing a helmet and taking that chance where one time I end up slipping out or smacking my head and then end up being a vegetable or end up passing away and then putting my friends and family through that. That's just my own personal opinion on that, and everyone's got a different opinion on that. I never wore a helmet until just recently, like within the last few years, so it's just all personal preference. But I think core or not core, if you're wearing a helmet and you're wearing the safety precautions, it should be ultimately your personal choice and nobody should take that away from you. But unfortunately for James Hardy, he never wore a helmet from what I understand, had multiple head trauma, and ended up having seizures and passing away, which is truly sad and heartbreaking. So many people are like totally devastated by this and missing him. X Games, so many friends and family, like the whole skate industry is just in shock right now. He was born 1989 and passed away 2024. And I've covered other stories when it came to skaters not wearing helmets and then end up suffering from a head injury. And it even states right here, Mount student dies after sustaining head injury, skateboarding accident without wearing a helmet. After traumatic brain injury, a Cedar City crash, skateboarder shares story of recovery and redemption, so he's very lucky to be alive. Another teenage high school soccer player's life ends in tragic skateboarding accident from hitting his head. The one that I covered here was this one here with Riker Schellings, where he nearly died after he suffered a brain injury while he fell off his skateboard in 2019, having to relearn how to walk and talk, and now he's a completely different person, and that was all because he wasn't wearing a helmet. And there's just so many different cases here, 13-year-old skateboard fall caused traumatic brain injury. A 12-year-old hits head and dies without wearing a helmet. A helmet is just there to hopefully, if you do smack your head, that it will, make it so it's not so devastating. Like, yeah, you're probably still going to have a concussion. Depending how hard you hit your head, there could still be an issue, but at least having one on could prevent serious injury, if not death. And sadly, like it sucks because there's a lot of young kids that fall in this stigma of like it's uncool to wear a helmet and I want to be cool and they're just learning to skate. So if anything, they should be wearing a helmet. But then they look up to like pro skateboarders and they look up to the core industry and nobody wears helmets except for like vert guys and Andy Anderson and a select few. And like just learning they should be wearing it and unfortunately a lot of kids end up getting seriously hurt or dying. So let's watch this video of James Hardy ride the sky, a tribute to him. We gotta check out his footage because he was absolutely an insane shredder. Look at this. Massive 5-0 down that handrail. That was insane. James Hardy, rest in peace, man. Truly gonna be missed. Oh, that was sick. Back tail. He is regular stance to keep in mind. The fact that he's actually doing a feeble on a ledge like that is so sick. Damn, look at that. That was nuts. Just super smooth style too, just clean. Lip slide down a kinked handrail. Massive kickflip. That was crazy. You gotta consider this was like back in the day, so like yeah, for some of the stuff he was doing was pretty nuts. Technical too. Nice technical clean tricks. That was a massive switch ollie. That was a cool one. Ollie 50 down like a super steep rail. Blunt shove. Dang. Tons of really good spots. Lots of good tricks. Massive frontside flip. That was insane. Some of the stuff I watch skaters do, like James Hardy, is just absolutely mind-blowing. Truly incredible and really impressive. He did it regular and then he did a switch tray flip on that gap. That's nuts. That was super cool. I remember growing up and watching parts like this and just being like completely just mind blown. Like hoping like one day like I'd be even just a little bit talented and good enough to do any of these tricks, just slightly, just a little bit. And like these massive rails and stuff, just truly mind blowing. Damn, super clean. Damn, look at that nasty backsmith. Nasty meaning like just absolutely crazy. Holy smokes. James Hardy definitely was a shredder. Whew. I love that he's doing like massive big stuff, but then he's also got some like really like technical stuff too. Wow, look at that gap to crook. What's he gonna do here? Oh, couple of the same tricks on spots, but the spots are absolutely gnarly. Look at that handrail. We gotta we gotta watch the Ender part one more time because this was absolutely insane. Look at this. This is crazy. Goes to an overcrook or nose grind overcrook on this handrail. Lands so high up, super steep, and just flies down that thing and just lands it like no problem at all. Absolutely insane. What a legend. Skateboarding is truly an incredible, I guess people call it a sport, but whatever you want to call skateboarding, it's truly amazing and it's a special thing because no other sports are you doing anything like this. And it's just truly magnificent and mind-blowing that people are so skilled enough and daredevil and just to go full send like a set like this with a handrail and just pray and hope and have the skill to actually not like eat it completely. And I like that's why I love skateboarding. It's just truly something different. And no, you can't take it away from anyone. Everyone's got their own style, unique set of skills and tricks. And regardless of what anybody else says, it's just truly a blessing to be able to do it. So yeah, it's truly sad what happened to James Hardy, and I'm surprised, honestly, like a lot of other skateboarders haven't started to suffer from like traumatic brain injury and seizures and other issues, or they just keep it quiet. But James Hardy was pretty open about it, and that's one of the reasons why he stopped skateboarding in his career. And it's truly sad that, he ended up passing away. And he was 35. He still had huge potential to put out like crazy video parts and bangers. Rest in peace, man. You're truly loved and truly missed, and my condolences go out to his friends and family and everybody that's being impacted by this. An absolute legend.